Vaxis told me there's a secret portal in the northwest room of the first floor of the mortuary. I wonder if I can see it?
Done.
Northwest. Is it in one of these pockets? These are all here. Getting a little desperate now. I think I'm gonna try talking to people, because I can't find the finger or the portal. And it's probably somewhere, but I feel like I've checked everywhere and I probably haven't, but how do you tell? Ooh. This guy's a name. You see a tired-looking man in a black robe. His narrow face is extremely pale, and he doesn't look as if he's been sleeping. His shoulders are slumped, and the flesh sags loosely beneath his bloodshot eyes. He looks so lost in thought that he doesn't even notice you. Greetings.
Updated my journal.
Greetings. The man turns to face you and makes a slight bow. You suddenly notice that his eyes aren't bloodshot so much as they have a red tinge to them. I am Soego. How may I help you? He introduced himself, so I guess we don't all know each other here. I have some questions. Halfway through your comment, Soego's lips suddenly peel back, revealing a row of dirty, sharp teeth, and he leans in, sniffing you. Why in the hell's you sniffing me? Your clothes. Those robes. They smell of another. They are not yours. Soego's lips seal into a strange smile, and his eyes gleam with an almost feral intent. Who are you? I only took these robes so I could leave in peace. I woke up on one of the preparation tables upstairs. He seems surprised. You woke up on one of the slabs upstairs? Yes. I know this is hard to believe, but it's the truth. I woke up on one of your slabs upstairs. Really? The Dustman scrutinizes you. You do look like you've been prepared. I don't know how you would have survived such pain. Are you in pain? You look it. How would I have gotten here in the first place? Well, Soego squints. He seems confused. Obviously a mistake has been made. Either you were brought here by blood relatives, other dustmen, or... Soego suddenly hisses, as if an unpleasant thought has just occurred to him. Or one of the collectors. Collectors? Yes, collectors. Packs of scavengers that bring the bodies of the dead to us. They may have thought you dead. Soego hisses, and his eyes gleam. And they are so copper blind, they wouldn't have cared to check before delivering you here. Soego studies you. It is fortunate you awoke, or you may have reached the true death before your time. If they think everyone should die, why do they also care about whether people are dead early? Then there's been a mistake, and I'd like to leave now. Soego nods, and the corner of his mouth twitches. Why, of course, of course. Let me open the front gate for you. All right. What? Did this 3-hour adventure just end with me asking permission to leave and then leaving? Like, plenty of other stuff happened, and it was all interesting little details, but I'm just like, I'm shocked that this just happened. Very well. The front gate is now unlocked, but you cannot re-enter. Can I ask you some questions before I leave? You may ask your questions. I don't want to out the anarchist. If I may ask, are you alright? You look tired. Suego manages a weak smile, and the corners of his mouth twitch silently. I have recently taken ill. Minor fevers, nothing more. Sometimes they make me sleep. Sometimes they make sleep difficult. Anything I could do? Suego shakes his head. No, no. Thank you for your concern. I will endure. He frowns slightly. Was there something else you wanted? Do you know someone named Farod? Farod? Of course I know him. He frowns, and his eyes gleam red. A ghoulish man. No respect for the dead, and even less for the living. He is a scavenger, a collector. Do you know where I could find him? I know he resides in the Hive, the slums outside the mortuary, but I do not know exactly where. Some of the other collectors may know, if they'll talk to you. What do collectors do again? Collectors make their living gathering corpses and bringing them here to the mortuary. We then make sure the bodies receive a proper burial. Do they, though, if you keep animating them? I'm missing a journal. Have you seen one? A journal? Suego seems confused. No, I have not seen one. Never mind. I must take my leave. Thank you. Don't know if we can trust this. This is a trap. What's going on, game? Am I being pursued by banshees? The sky has dropped. There's dustbin everywhere, but I guess they're not gonna attack me out here anymore. So they just threw it in the garbage. They said I can't return, so I guess I'm done there now. It's like, whatever I found, that's gonna be as good as it gets. I guess the pry bar looks like a club when I'm holding it. I don't think I need an iron spike. 1 to 4. Oh, that's just my currently equipped weapon, maybe? You see a pale-faced dustman standing over the front, starting guard over the front gate. He's staring off across the city rooftops with a distant expression. As you approach, he turns to face you. Yes. I had some questions. He nods and waits. I'm looking for someone named Farod. Do you know where he might be found?
Updated my journal.
Farod's a collector. The man studies you for a moment. If you wish to know more of him, I am told that Initiate Emmerich in the Gathering Dust Bar also seeks him. It may be that he can help you. Where is the Gathering Dust Bar? As one leaves the mortuary front gate, head south and west. It lies past the memorial. I don't think we need to ask everyone about the journal constantly. South and west, they said. Pox. That's quite the name. This cowled figure is hunched by the mortuary gate. His face is obscured by the shadows of his hood. What little you can see in his chin is his chin, which is covered with stubble, and what appears to be a foul green and purple rash. Those are distressing colors that skin shouldn't be. The rash seems heaviest around his neck, fading as it crawls up to his chin. Greetings. The figure doesn't budge. There is a moment of silence. Then he responds with a high-pitched voice that sounds more suited to a girl of 10 years than a man. Aye? Who are you? Pox, am I? Aye. Pox? Mother and father named me. Wished a pox on the firstborn. A curse given, came true it did. Aye. Again, your eyes are drawn to the purplish-green rash covering Pox's chin and neck. How did you get a name like Pox? Nope. Same thing. What are you doing? Wait for debtors, do I? Aye. Debtors? Corpses, why? Find a debtor, take him through the gate, get some jink. Then again, I wait. Aye. Through the gate? Why? A debtor's to a dustman what copper's to a collector. Bring them to the dead, they give you copper at the gate. They do? Aye. Is the front gate the only way inside the mortuary? Aye. Only debtor or dustman go in gate they do. You want pox? Make you debtor again? Again? Hi, only debtor or hi, many time you ask. Pox always do. Oh, so he's killed me and sent me in before. He knows who he's meant. How many times exactly? Many time, aye. So we've met before. Aye. What do you know about me? You're a debtor who doesn't stay debtor for long. Hi. Deal square with Fox? Deal square with Pox you do. Do you know anything else about me? Do you know anything else besides that? Boy, he repeats that same line forever? Okay. So he'll kill me if I want to go back inside. Alright then. How about I just pretend to be dead and you sneak me in? Let Pox see you play debtor? You play debtor good. Pox gets you in, hi? Okay. Hi? I've lost a journal. You wouldn't have happened to seen one, have you? Hi? No journal have I seen. Things get lost in Hive. Never found again. Maybe journal one of them, hi? Sorry to disturb you. Farewell. Well, that immediately established a way to get back in, I guess. It's apparently worked before. Hive tout? Dabus? What are you? Are you floating? What's a dabus? You see a tall creature with a shock of white hair. Its skin has a greenish cast, and a pair of goat horns protrudes from its forehead. It is dressed in long flowing robes and appears to be floating slightly above the ground. Greetings. The creature turns to face you and a series of symbols appear around its head. The symbols have a slight glow about them and they just hover there. Oh, for the power's sake, piking Dabus. What's wrong? He's a Dabus. They speak in rebuses, these annoying word puzzles. If you don't know what he's saying, then we better find a native or some other way to communicate with them, if we want to. An annoying bunch. My bet they can speak, they just rather piss everyone off by trying to puzzle out what they're saying. What's a Dabus? Chant is they're janitors for the Lady of Pain. They float around breaking They float around breaking, fixing, and patching up Sigil according to her whims. They're worse than corpse flies. Morte sighs. You can't swat them, though, or the lady will get upset. Is this where they got the idea for the keepers or whatever they're called from Mass Effect? Lady of Pain? Who's that? She runs the city. You'll know it when you see her. She got these blades around her face. She's about the size of a giant, and she floats off the ground just like these guys. Morte nods at the Davos, who is looking at you both. Nobody knows much about her. She doesn't speak much. All you need to know is that you don't want her to make her angry. If you see her, my advice, run. I see. The Davos waits patiently, its hands tucked into its sleeves. A series of symbols materialize above its head, then they vanish, and a question mark appears. Try and strike up a conversation, see if you can translate what the Davos is saying. I take that as a yes? 1,000. I guess I'm that wise. You ask the Davos several questions, trying to get a feel for the rebuses that appear above its head. It is extremely patient throughout your discussion, giving you easy sentences to translate. After a few minutes, you start to get the hang of it. It feels like you've done this before. Maybe you can help me. The Davos waits. Who are you? The Davos inclines his head slightly, and a stream of symbols appears above its head. You think he's saying he's a Davos. What are you doing? A batch of symbols appears above the Davos' head. You think he's saying he's attending to his duty, or duties. Can you tell me about the Lady of Pain? A lone symbol appears over the Davos' head. This one shows a metallic female mask, with blades coming out of the sides. Just looking at the ghostly image makes you uncomfortable. Farewell. The Davos bows slightly. Symbols swirl around its head, and then it turns away. Not useful right now, but maybe later? Oh, I need 16k to level up. We're not that close. Okay. Hive Dwellers. A lot of generics. Bane the Sender. You see a heavy-set man with sharp features and a pained expression. Despite his huge frame, however, he has an effeminate look about him. And unlike the other residents you've seen, he looks to have bathed recently. As you approach, he looks up hopefully and calls out in a high voice. Craddock? Good, sir. What? Nah. His hopeful expression dies as he studies your face. 1,000 apologies, good sir. If I have given offense. He gives a slight bow. I am called Bane the Sender, third child of Bane the Sender. I am one of the many runners in the employ of the House of Senders. No apologies necessary, Bane. What do you want? 1,000 apologies for troubling you with such trivial matter, but I seek Craddock, an overseer in the Hive. Craddock looks like he is in pain, or Bane looks like he's in pain. But alas, he eludes me. He looks at you hopefully again. Could it be you have heard of such a man? I'm sorry, I haven't. Bane gives a deep sigh. I am bound to deliver a message to him, and as yet, fortune has chosen not to favor me. I could help you. If I come across this man, I could pass along your message. Bane's face lights up like a lantern. Oh, fortunate day for Bane in the House of Senders. Any assistance you could provide would be most welcome. If you can find this Craddock and pass along the message, I shall see to it that you are paid for your troubles. Alright. What's the message? Bane recites the message almost like a mantra. The shipment must be incursed by the 3rd day, or there will be a penalty. Bane frowns. I am told that Craddock will know of the shipment to which the message pertains. If I see Craddock, I will pass along the message. Is there anything you can tell me about him before I go that might help me find him? He's said to be a giant of a man, stern in features, that he is an overseer in one of the hive marketplaces. Alas, I know little else than that, good sir. I see. That's enough to go on for now. Bane bows. Thank you, sir. Should fortune favor you and you're able to bear the message to Craddock, so be so kind as to return and tell me of it. I will see to it that your efforts are rewarded. Very well. Farewell, Bane.
Updated my journal.
Can I just lie? I'm like, how are you gonna verify that I did that? It feels like I could just lie to your face and you'd be like, oh wow, good job. I believe you. Generic dustmans. Is this gathering dust? Because it's full of dustmans? Quentin. Sevtai. Look at them digitigrade legs. Oh, he's beating his head against the wall. That can't be a good sign. Death of names. 3 characters in here. The man before you looks to be middle of height and years. He is stout with a thick, bullish neck, and his shoulders are hunched, as if a great weight was pressed upon them. He wears an impatient look as he stares at the black monolith in front of him. Greetings. The man throws you a glance. There's room, Cutter. No need to ask my leave to stand here. Actually, I wanted to know what this monolith was. It's a tombstone for the plains, he scoffs. Graveyards of names are scratched on that rock. Can only hope my name will one day be... Can only hope my name's the one that'll split this stone in twain. He points at the base of the monolith. Quentin, right there, hammered in just hard enough to send the damn thing crashing down. Tombstone for the plains. Aye. Quentin smiles ruefully. The dusties scratched the names of the dead on this monument here. He gestures around him. And on the walls of this place. Not enough space, by my reckoning, but no matter. They do their best. Can barely read half the names. What are you doing here? Reading the new arrivals. Trying to find a new one every day. Trying to remember if I knew him. Nothing more. The dustmen record the names of all that have died on this monument. Aye. They scratch him on this rock and scratch him on the walls of this place. Quentin scoffs. I don't know why they take the trouble to take accounting of the dead. The dustmen have more care for the living. The living? Aye. You know about the dustmen mourners that come to this place? They aren't mourning the dead, see? They're mourning the living. You can barely get a word in them edgewise without them asking to mourn some poor living burk for you. Why do they mourn the living? You got me there, Cutter. He shrugs. We might want to put the question to them. Seems to me the dead are thrice worth the pity of any poor sod living in this pit. He nods at the monument. Every name on there is blessed in my book, it is. Ever know anybody who came back after the name was put on here? You mean come back from death? Quentin shakes his head. Not a one, Cutter. Everything that lives dies, and that's the way of things. He shrugs. Still, considering the plains go on forever and all, suppose anything's possible. I see. Thanks. There's something going on with the fact that, like, because don't they presumably want everybody to die? So they mourn the living because everybody who hasn't suffered the permanent death is the people who are worth mourning for, I think. But they'd also care about whether or not people died preemptively, so I'm not really sure. This woman's face looks broken, and she is covered in scars. They look like bite marks and fingernail cuts. She's cradling the shreds of several rags in her hands and is staring emptily at the wall of the monument, at the names there. Greetings. Psst. You get you back. The woman's teeth peel back, displaying rows of... The teeth peel back? Or lips? Lips peel back to show teeth, right? Displaying a row of black canines. What you want of Sevtai? What's the matter? What wrong? Those chaos men wrecked my cart, attacked me, and killed 3 of my sisters who tried to stop them. Not sisters anymore. Now there's nothing but names on this memorial wall. Chaos men? Chaos men. A faction, they says. What they are is an addled bunch that runs wild through the hive and does whatever they please. We never did no harm to them. Then they lope in like dogs and tear apart anything within their reach. Who are these chaos men who attacked you? Oopsie. Who are these chaos men who attacked you? They're a hiver gang. A bunch of addled sods that call themselves the starved dogs barking, or some such barmy nonsense. I'll keep an eye out for them. I mourn your loss. Farewell. You see a dustman with a crooked smile frozen on his face. Despite the smile, his eyes are as dull as stones. His right arm is shorter than the left, and he keeps it tucked to his side as if cradling a small child. Greetings. The dustman's eyes slide over you. Name. The way he speaks the word, it sounds like the tolling of a bell. Name! I don't know. No name, can't help you. The dustman speaks in a curious sing-song voice. Need to give a name if you want to see where it's died. What?
Updated my journal.
Given a name. Given a name when you're born. Give it back when you need it no more. Death of names, death of names. His eyes swim across the monolith with the walls of the area. Then the walls of the area. Buried many names here. Death of names has. Tell me a name, I'll show its grave. Dayanara. His eyes roll to the back of his head, then pop back. With a wild gleam, his eyes run across the walls of the monument, scanning the names at human speed, then points to a section of the wall. Buried. Examine the spot he's pointing at. Chiseled into the black stone in tiny cramped writing is the name you requested. It is almost lost beneath the sea of names around it. Doll. He shakes his head. Not dead yet, that name is. Not buried here. Not time. Adon? Not time. Can you bury a name for me? He nods, then unfolds his small hand from where it is cradled on his sides. It looks atrophied. It is the size of a child's hand. Costs Jink to bury a name. 3 coppers, 3. Quentin. Not dead, not buried. Not time. You can't just do it with anybody. Because he's right over there. But he's the guy that mentioned having his name on it. It's interesting that it becomes an option at that moment. But not time. So maybe this is dust settles. Seeking company, Cutter? You see a tired-looking woman dressed in tight leather bodice and leggings. The odor of cheap perfume surrounds her like a cloud, and her face is covered with a mask of crude makeup. She smiles as she sees you. Why don't you stay and chat with me a bit, love? Greetings. The woman looks coyly at you. Now you look to be a blood who's lost something. Mayhap I can help you find it, Cutter. She smiles slightly. Oh? What good fortune? We probably lost what we're looking... What good fortune? We probably lost what we're looking for back at your kip, miss. I haven't actually said anything as Morte for a while. Actually, I'm missing a journal. Eh? She seems confused. What are you about? Forget the journal. Maybe you can help me find what I'm really missing. Her tone becomes businesslike. I love. Now that's the matter. Now there's a matter of a finder's fee. I see. How much? Some coppers for a glance at what you're missing, and 10 coppers to actually find what you're missing. Done. I think you found what you're looking for. Come along then, love. That's it then, Cutter. Well, I guess he had a good time. I had some questions for you. Well, now that I can concentrate. Well, the woman frowns. I'm not a tout. She frowns, then rubs two fingers together. Unless you got some jink to pay for my time. I can pay you. How much? For a handsome basher like yourself. She gives a wide smile, revealing a row of dirty teeth. 3 coppers will be enough to loosen my tongue. She licks her lips, then frowns. Other questions of a deeper chant will cost you more, though. Sounds fair. Here's 3 commons. Aye, then. She slips the jink into her palm, where it promptly vanishes. Now. There were some things I wanted to know. I kind of wondered if like, doing the services might make you learn anything about the Nameless One, or what the fuck his situation is, or what's going on. Or even reawaken a memory of similar experiences, or really just any description of any kind that might be storytelling. I was really surprised it just skipped ahead, but I guess now we have unlocked this option now. Can you tell me about this city? Her eyes narrow suspiciously. This city? What about it? What is it? What sigil you mean? She shrugs, looks around. It's a city beneath your feet and rising to the other side of you. She smiles. Makes visitors' stomachs gallop, it does. Where exactly is Sigil? Center of the plains, to hear it told. Center of the plains, to hear it told. Sarcasm. She snorts. If you believe that, wash. Why is it wash? She smirks. Well now, love, according to the graybeards and scholars and governors and all the rest of them rattling their brain boxes, they says the plains go on forever. She taps her head. Who's to say where the center is? That does seem contradictory, yeah. Can you tell me what's of interest around here? She puts her hands to her hips and pouts. Depends on your interest, Cutter. I'm looking for a good time. I already made you an offer, love, and it's not an unfair price. Don't know nowhere else you might be enjoying the delights you'd have with me. What else is around here of interest? I'm looking for work. She laughs. You're asking me? What, you thinking of becoming one of the sisterhood, are you? She nearly buckles over in laughter, the screeching is similar to a drunken harpy's, which apparently exists in this universe. Eventually, the gales of laughter subside, and she takes a deep breath. You're a rich man, you are. What can you tell me about the Lady of Pain? She spits and makes a half circle around her heart. That bladed witch, all high and mighty, mistress of all this city, floating and silent, she kills anyone in her shadow. She tends the city, aye, she hisses, and leaves the living things in it to rot. I'm looking for someone named Farod. Ballard, now that's one of the greater darks, love. If you want to know about that blood, that'll be thrice the coppers of a normal asking. Fair enough. Here's 9 coppers. Commons. She gives your coins a once-over, then shrugs and pockets them. What you be wanting to know about El Farod? At that price, anything you can tell me about him? She shrugs. Chance is he's a collector boss. Has a whole bunch of bloods in his shadow. Where can I find him? Now, no one knows for dead sure, but if I were to suggest a place, love, I'd say Ragpicker's Square. Ragpicker's Square? Aye. Big ol' heap of rags and trash 3 blocks due west of the mortuary. All the collectors stake their kip there. Chances are Pharaoh's got his kip there too. What's a collector? You know, them sods that pick up deaders for Jink. A sorry lot. They gather bodies? Why? Because they don't got the looks to do what I do. Gotcha. I'm looking for a journal. No idea where you find such a thing, love. You might look elsewhere. She smiles suggestively. I know some places you might start. I think we're done here. Actually, never mind. Farewell. You're a loss. When you get tired of losing things and need to find some things, love, you come see me. I'll keep that in mind. Farewell. Chief, can you sport me some Jink? It's been a long time, it has. I don't know why the voice have landed on so much. I'm not even going to ask how you intend to accomplish this. Woman breaks in. It's twice the cost for the Murmur, or any other degenerate. Mimir? Isn't Mimir the decapitated guy in Norse mythology, right? So it's Mimir, I think is the pronunciation. Maybe, I don't know, fuck it. Mimir? Mimir's a talking encyclopedia. That's me, Chief. Wow, just insult the woman I already slept with. Let's just get out of here. Farewell, miss. So it costs twice as much. What if I wanted to let him do it? Maybe he'd be nicer to me. The post. In quotes. What does that mean? This filthy looking corpse is in a sad shape. Its shoulders are slumped, and one of its legs is broken, causing it to lean to one side. Stains cover it from head to toe. Judging from the smell and texture, the stains run from rotten fruit to mud and bird droppings. To add to the indignity, graffiti has been carved into its body, and several notices have been nailed to its chest, back, and head. They're just using a corpse that stands up as a post for signs? I thought I was in bad shape. Don't all those nails hurt? The corpse makes no response. Examine the corpse. Despite the many stitches, the corpse's rotting skin is peeling in several places, revealing long stretches of muscle and bone. You guess that this zombie is frequently used as target practice. The fruit and mud stains aside, some of the tears in the skin still have rocks and bit of glass lodged in them. One wicked-looking cobblestone is still embedded in the side of its head. Try out the cobblestone. You grab a hold of the cobblestone and pull it out of the corpse's head. Traces of brain matter and rotting flesh slowly drip from it. It looks like whatever was in its head turned to ooze long ago. What about the notices? A number of leaflets have been ruined by rain, but some of them are still legible. One tacked to its back is from something called the Office of Vermin and Disease Control. The one on his forehead looks like a bill of fare for a restaurant. One on his chest looks like an official notice, and another appears to be some sort of want ad. Let's go look at the graffiti. Graffiti runs from obscenities about the Dustmen to slogans glorifying what appear to be local gangs. One piece of graffiti catches your eye. Something has carved the name Farod on the corpse's left arm, then slashed an X across it. Other notices? Office of Vermin and Disease Control. To those hive citizens wishing gainful employ on the most honorable and generous Sigil government, inquire forthwith at Office of Vermin and Disease Control to help stem plague of brain rats. Bounties paid. Copper given for each rat tail brought. Tails must be genuine and from rat only. No cat, dog, or fiend tail accepted. Office several streets south and west of Mortuary Gate in Lower Hive. Ask for official inspector in charge, the respected Phineas T. Lort, 39. Not much of like a special voice to give that stuff, because while all of it is misspelled, it's all spelled phonetically and accurately phonetically-ish. The bill of fare. Someone's posted a bill of fare for the Gathering Dust Bar, but the bill of fare cannot be read, as the words Smoldering Corpse Bar have been scrawled in charcoal over the bill. Smoldering Corpse Bar. The zombie immediately jerks its left arm upward and points far to the southeast. A moment later, the arm falls back to its side with a thump. It says where the places are if you ask? So he does something still. Reminds me of a job I once had. He seems embarrassed. Well, I mean, without the arms. I wonder if this would work with the other notices. Official notice. Public notice. By the order of the Judiciary Council and in accordance with the citizenry of Sigil, let it be known that defacing a registered servant of the Dustmen, either by graffiti, malicious attack, or by posting notices, will constitute a felonious assault, and the perpetrator will be answerable for the vandalism of said servant. By order of the Hall of Speakers. Didn't you deface the body in order to put the sign here? Want ad. Wanted. Able-bodied person willing to investigate a matter of utmost importance to the Dustman cause. Will offer suitable compensation upon successful completion of said task. Interested parties inquire with initiate Noroch, Gathering Dust Bar. Gathering Dust Bar? The zombie immediately jerks his left arm upward and points west to the building before you. A moment later, the arm falls back to the side with a thump. Oh, so the other place, I thought the other place was making fun of the name of this place, but that's a separate place, because it didn't point at this place before. So we're at Gathering Dust, as expected. And Smoldering Corpse is not them making fun of the name of Gathering Dust, it's that the place moved. The bill of fare or whatever that was going on here, it moved from Gathering Dust to Smoldering Corpse, which is south. well. It's a very weird world we're in.
Chief, what are we doing in here? Let's say we just give this place the laugh, all right?
I had reason to be in here. You shut up. Noroch. Morte. Gravesend. Awaiting death.
All right.
Okay. This place is dense. Old copper eyes. Before you is young dustman with stubble on his chin and dark circles beneath his eyes. He's staring at the wall with a somber expression. Greetings. The dustman doesn't look up. He stares straight ahead, as if seeing something several leagues beyond the walls of the bar. Can I ask you some questions? The dustman doesn't respond. He keeps staring into the distance. Alrighty, Morte hisses at you. Let's go, Chief. This dusty might as well be fertilizer. Fair enough. Let's get out of here. As you turn to leave, the dustman suddenly speaks, his voice barely a murmur. You have to strain to hear the words. You think he says something about wanting to die. What did you say? The boy's expression does not flicker. Do you want to die? I don't really know. Do you want to die? Yes. Why do you want to die? This existence is a mockery of life. I do not wish to continue this charade any longer. His face wrinkles in disgust. Why would anyone wish to remain in this foul city, in the center of a multiverse that feeds on pain and hatred? Death is silent, comforting. That's a bleak outlook. There's a lot more to life than pain and hatred. This is living. He bares his teeth, and his hands clench. This existence is a mockery of life. Same line again. Trust me, it's not. The boy seems irritated by the comment. And how do you know? I don't know. I've yet to see what lies beyond death and remember it. If I die again, perhaps then I could speak of it. The dustman blinks, then sneers. You lie. No man can die more than once, not without being resurrected by mighty magics. Resurrected. Resurrected. Brought back to life. The magic required is indeed powerful. Who would be capable of such power? A powerful sorcerer or priest? Or one of the powers? But not anyone I know. He frowns. And I don't believe you know of anyone of that sort either. If I ever die and remember, I will return and speak of it to you. Then you may gauge whether I lie or not. Farewell. Making friends. I'm not about to kill myself just to like spite this guy and be like, haha, told you so. Old Copper Eyes. Before he was a tall, silent figure. He could easily pass for a statue, although the deep furrows in his face and brow make you wonder if the sculptor was a little too eager in defining the face with the chisel. He looks well over 50 years old, but exactly how much over 50 it's hard to tell. As he slowly turns to look at you, you catch the dull sheen of copper in his eyes. Greetings. Old Copper Eyes stares at you. His eyes are difficult to make out past the black well of his eye sockets, but they look to have a coppery sheen about them. I have some questions. Copper Eyes says nothing. Never mind. Farewell. Well, we'll see if he ever comes up again. Because for now, he's not here to talk to me. A lot of people around here. Oh, this guy specifically wants me to talk to him. This tiny, wizened man, who looks like he's taller than me, is dwarfed by his huge dustman robes. They look as if they were chosen to cloak his small stature. Though he looks to be in his late 90s, this man is extremely energetic. He fidgets continually, and his eyes dart around the bar like a bird's. Greetings. The man's eyes gleam as he takes your measure, and he gives a slight nod in greeting. Hail and well met, traveler. You look like one who is just getting your sigil legs about them. He trails off. Pardon me. Have we met before? Your face seems familiar somehow. Possibly. Are you certain it was me? Maybe I was mistaken. Morte shakes his head. Well, no matter, no matter. How is it that Morte Gravesend may help you? Do you seek... He clucks his tongue as he speaks. The contract, perhaps? Contract? The contract? Why, it is but a simple transaction. From the depths of his huge robe, Morte pulls forth a dusty parchment and quill pen. I give you 50 commons. In return, after death, the Dustmen faction may claim your remains. He smiles, then clucks his tongue. What use will you have for them at that point anyway? What do the Dustmen do with the body? Morte holds up his hands as if he doesn't know. What does it matter? It is of no consequence when you pass on. It matters to me. Well, if you must know, oftentimes, nothing is done with the body, and it is we, the Dustmen, who have wasted all that money. More fools us. Morte gives a light smile, then looks apologetic. But, rarely, there are times when the workers in the mortuary need to be replaced, and then we may have a need of your body. You mean I'll be You mean I'll be animated as a corpse and put to work in the mortuary? That doesn't sound good. Ah, but no harm is done, no pain. Morte raises a finger as if to emphasize the point. And there is no danger. If in exchange for money you can spend in this life, you merely have to give us something that you will have no need of anyway once you have died. Morte taps his chest. I signed the contract myself, if you must know. I shall have no need of my body when I pass on. I'll consider it. For now, I have other questions. It's funny because when you have somebody calling out to you in a game like this, you're like, ah, quest character, or ah, party member that I should meet, or something. This is important. It's a guy, he's a salesman is why he's calling out to me, which makes way more sense. But he gets you to be like an organ donor, but it's a body donor. They use it. So now we know that everybody who was reanimated signed up for that as a possibility. But they did so out of desperation, because they get, in exchange they're given money. It costs money, sorry, they're given money so that they can use in this life, so they're being paid for it. But they're not being paid that much. They're being paid 5 nights with that prostitute. And that's it. For losing for access to their entire body after death. Can you tell me about some of the patrons here? Of course. Which of the patrons do you wish to know about? Can you tell me about awaiting death? A troubled initiate. Morte clicks his tongue disapprovingly. He seeks death with a passion that is most inappropriate for a dustman. Are dustmen not allowed to feel passions? Oh my, yes. Morte frowns. Too much passion, too much emotion prevents one from reaching the true death. To be passionate runs contrary to the philosophy of our faction. He wants to die too badly because people don't get their experience their true death if they have too much attachment. I think that's what was introduced at like the beginning. Which itself is weird because we already introduced this idea that nobody comes back from dying, so I guess they just have a belief about what the true death is that may or may not even be grounded in anything. True death. The true death is the state of peaceful oblivion all dustmen aspire to, and help all others reach. He clucks disapprovingly. Anything that ties a soul to this life is shunned by our faction, whether these ties are possessions or emotions. You see, passions act as an anchor on the soul, preventing it from reaching the true death. He shakes his head. Very bad, very bad. Can you tell me about old Copper Eyes? Morte's eyes go cold. The one with the eyes of copper? His eyes speak enough about his purpose here. He makes a semicircle over his heart. A member of the Dustmen he may be, but I would never sign a dead contract with him. Copper is in his soul, and to me, that speaks of an excess of passion for money. He is a Dustman in name only. You mean I could sign a dead contract with him? Yes, but it is much better that you sign with me rather than that greedy monster. Morte clucks disapprovingly. Greed is the passion that kills, you know, and to a Dustman it is twice as deadly. Do not trouble yourself speaking to Copper Eyes, good sir. Deal with me instead. Have you seen a journal recently? I'm missing mine. I know nothing about a journal. I deal with documentation of a much different sort. I'm searching for a man named Farod. Have you seen him? Morte frowns. He is one of the collectors, isn't he? I know a little of him. I think Initiate Embark mentioned him in passing. Morte glances around. Emmerich should be here in the bar somewhere. He can usually be found in the far corner of at the head table, I believe. I think that's probably it. Morte nods as he turned to leave. He has a strange expression on his face. Is there something wrong? Morte frowns. Forgive me, I must ask again. Are you sure we haven't met before? Possibly. I do not recall you. Morte shakes his head. Well, no matter. Farewell, Morte. Yes, farewell, farewell. Morte studies you as you leave, and you hear some mutter under his breath. Something about that one. Maybe I have done that deal before. Maybe looping again and again, I had use of paying him, or getting paid by him for a thing that I could then cheat and keep getting paid for every loop, essentially. My concern is that when he, and maybe this was me misreading the first thing he said, but the first time he said something, he gave me the impression that they were going to take my stuff if I die, which I guess they might do no matter what. But that his first introduction maybe gave me the impression that this was me signing him no, he did that. He definitely said my possessions, right? Or belongings. He used a term that sounded like it was referring to items. So I thought they'd take my inventory when I die. I'm like, I'm not signing up that possibility indefinitely for 50 coppers. But they might always do that anyway. But it ultimately was about being reanimated. Still seems not ideal, given that we don't really want to play around with what that might do to me if I'm supposed to come back.